As voters turn out in record numbers for the Georgia Senate runoff race, poll watchers will have their hands full. Our next guest signed up for that very role. Brandon Straka, founder of the Walkaway campaign, joining us live to discuss, as well as our panelists back as well. Brandon, good to see you, by the way. Finally got you here in the show. I've got to ask you about this. You decided to sign up to be a poll watcher in Georgia, and you tweeted about it basically saying, let them try to push you around. Do you anticipate any issues? Tell me about your thought process behind getting involved here and why you did it.
Well, listen, I'm not going to go into the situation expecting that there's going to be a problem or there's going to be an issue. I'm definitely going to go in there with my friendliest, warmest attitude, expecting that everybody's going to behave professionally and that this is going to be all done above board. However, should we end up in a situation where there's some shenanigans or some nonsense going on, you can rest assured I am not a wimpy Republican. I am not a spineless Republican. The American people can count on me to stand up and fight back if people are going to try to push me around or intimidate me in the poll booth. Because what we really need they're counting on this. Listen, this is why this all happened in the first place. There are so many Republicans are kind of typically known for always wanting to do the right thing, always wanting to be polite, always wanting to be above board. And so they're taking advantage of that and shoving people around. And so we've got to be strong. We've got to be firm. And honestly, I take a lot of lead from the president of the United States right now, who's being tougher and stronger than any Republican's ever been in history. And we've got to learn from that example, I believe.
You've seen the challenges that other poll watchers have had in the past. You saw the ones in Pennsylvania where they were 18 feet back. They had to stop the counting to get to correct the problem, get them 6 feet back so that they could actually see what's counted. But many poll watchers say, and I've had them on this show that told me personally, I can't even see the names or the signatures on the actual ballot themselves. You're kind of prepared for this game, would you say?
100% prepared for this. And I'll say, too, I think a lot of people, first of all, I have a very large platform. Between all the social media platforms, I have well over 1 million followers. So this is going to be very different than things were on November 3rd, because a lot of people went in there, people who maybe don't have such a large following, don't have such a large platform, and don't have such a large voice. If there's any nonsense going on there, it's going to be widely exposed. And I'm going to be capturing everything that's happening inside of there. And I would highly encourage, by the way, any other conservative influencers to get into those polls as well, because we're the people who have the voice. We're the people who are going to be able to blow all of this up. So yeah, I'm going to have my eyes on everything. I'm going to be ready, willing, and able to capture anything that's going on in there. And if there's anything that's going awry inside those voting polls, I'm going to be blowing it up, and people are going to find out about it.
You know, Brandon, when I found out you're going to be poll watching, that's actually what I thought of. I was like, do you understand this man's following on social media, and you're going to let him be you don't want to mess with this guy. I mean, he pulls out his phone, it's over for you. Don't do it. Esther, I just want to get your reaction to Brandon there signing up to be a poll watcher.
I want to suggest Brandon start a new campaign, Walk Away from Warnock. And to really target that, and also just joking aside, to focus on the provisional ballots. Provisional ballots are being issued to people who had registered change of address changes with the post office. So they're not necessarily certified or eligible to cast a ballot. And to remind people that if you're no longer living in Georgia, just like the Secretary of State said, that it is a felony to cast a vote in a state where you're no longer living in. So that may be counterintuitive to a lot of the Hollywood crowd. And that's why it's so important to have a celebrity like Brandon out there raising this issue about the real voter fraud and the real voter suppression that may happen in Georgia.
Mark Williams, your thoughts?
No, I commend Brandon for what he's doing, and I encourage more and more folks to actually do it. The more eyes that we have on the ground there, and the more voices we have, talking about the need for transparency and any kind of shenanigans that may or may not be happening, the better. So again, I encourage people all the time to be poll watchers, and I'm glad Brandon is shining a light on this, because like I alluded to in the very first segment, I can't express how important this election is just for the future of the country.